Do you need a relationship to be happy? Healing Parables. The Parable of the Tree and the Wind. In a distant and beautiful land, there stood a tree. It was tall and sprawling, with lush leaves that rustled at the slightest touch of the wind. Yet the tree often felt sad. It thought, "I will never truly be happy until I find my other half. Without the wind, I am nothing. Only the wind can bring my leaves to life, making them dance and sing." One day the wind passing by heard these thoughts and gently whispered, "Tree, why do you believe that you can't be happy without me?" "Because you bring motion and joy to my life," the tree replied. "Without you, my leaves are still, and I feel so lonely." The wind smiled softly and said, "But tree, your roots hold you firmly in the ground, your branches reach toward the sky, and your bark protects you from storms. Don't you see how much strength and beauty you already have within yourself?" The tree paused, surprised. It had never thought about its roots, branches, or bark as anything special. Its attention had always been on what it thought was missing. "But without you, wind, I stand motionless. How can I find joy if I don't feel your touch?" "Let me tell you a story," said the wind. "When I first came into this world, I also thought my value lay only in bringing motion and vitality. But one day, I met a mountain. It stood calm and steady, and I wanted to change it to make it move. But the mountain said to me, 'Wind, you are free and strong. You can travel across all lands and bring change. But my happiness comes from being whole and grounded. I enjoy my existence and know I can support others, even if you are not always here.'" The tree listened intently, trying to imagine how one could be happy without someone else's presence. "The mountain taught me that each of us has our own value and uniqueness," continued the wind. "I realized I could enjoy my freedom, and the mountain could enjoy its stability. We don't depend on each other, but when we meet, our strength and beauty come together." The tree's branches quivered slightly with excitement. It began to reflect on its roots, which nourished it, its branches that reached toward the light, and its leaves that shielded it from the scorching sun. "Maybe," the tree thought, "I am more than just my connection to the wind. Maybe happiness already exists within me, and I simply haven't noticed it." Days passed. The tree began to observe itself more closely. It felt the depth of its roots drawing water and nutrients from the soil. It noticed how its bark shielded it from pests and harsh winds. It saw how its leaves transformed sunlight into energy. For the first time, it felt joy in the simple act of living. One day, when the wind returned to this land, the tree said, "Thank you, wind. You've opened my eyes to the fact that I am whole and complete on my own. I understand now that happiness isn't something that comes from outside. It's something I can create within myself. But when you visit, you add joy and movement to my life, and I cherish that." The wind embraced the tree with a gentle breeze. "You have always been magnificent, tree. I only helped you see it." From that day on, the tree no longer felt lonely. It had learned to find joy in its roots, branches, and leaves, in its connection to the earth and the sky. And when the wind came, the tree delighted in its touch but always remembered, happiness is something it could create for itself. This story reminds us that each person, like the tree, already possesses everything they need to be happy. A partner can be like the wind, bringing joy, movement, and new experiences. But true stability and happiness come from within. When we understand this, we can cherish relationships without making them the sole source of our joy and meaning. The end.